Hi guys, welcome back to Beauty by Chick. Welcome back to my channel. Based on the topic, you can see what this video is about, and you're probably like, girl, what are you talking about? How can you have a baby without reversing your tubes if your tubes are tied? How can you have a baby without having a tubal reversal, you ask? Well then, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, continue watching today's video. The topic that I want to talk about is, this video, my channel already is like very tubal reversal centered and pregnancy centered and stuff like that. So I'm all for these kind of topics. It's so interesting. Now, the purpose of me having this chit chat is because as of late, I've been coming across different people who have had their tubes tied and have miraculously gotten pregnant. Yes, are you in shock? I am too. Kind of crazy because you want to think that after having your tubes tubes tied, that the chances of getting pregnant is, I guess, slim to none. Ideally, that's why people do tie their tubes after, having their kids and stuff. They decide that they don't want to have any more kids. So tying their tubes is a more permanent decision. However, these folks tied their tubes and yet they still somehow found themselves pregnant. Now, I know that nothing is 100%. Even when you have a tubal reversal, they always tell you that there's like a slim chance that things can happen, but you just never expect it to. And I think the reason that makes these stories even more captivating to me is the fact that these people are like, in this one case that I just came across, the woman, it's one thing to get pregnant, but it's another thing for your pregnancy to wind up in the exact right place because, when your tubes are tied, your tubes are clamped off, then the sperm needs to travel all the way through your tubes to get into your uterus. Now, when your tubes are clamped, that's highly unlikely to happen. And for one of the cases that I just watched, like one of the ladies, she actually got pregnant and was able at 10 weeks to confirm that her pregnancy is where it ought to be. Isn't that amazing? Like, how in the world does that happen? It's very I'm mind blown at the fact that it even happens, and just the fact that she's going to have a normal, healthy pregnancy despite this issue. Now, or despite what happened. You guys are probably wondering, why are you talking about all these things? Like, my channel is very pregnancy centered, pregnancy based. So it's interesting to talk about this kind of stuff. And I think it's really important to kind of share it with those of you who are on this channel for those kind of topics. Like many of you have had your tubes tied. There are people who are like, oh, I'm going to tie my tubes, but they also think it's 100%. And it's not 100%. It's good to know this, that tying your tubes is not 100%. And you could still end up pregnant despite you not wanting to have a child. So it's important to kind of know that. I mean, I had my tubes tied for 8 years and nothing happened, thank the Lord. But as I'm seeing all over the place, it can happen. Another reason why I wanted to post this is because the other day I also made a video on that woman who had her tubes, who wanted to have her tubes tied, but the doctors refused, or the doctor refused. Then she got pregnant. I just wish you knew that that tubal reversal is not even 100% guaranteed. Like, what would have happened had the doctor tied her tubes and then she still got pregnant? I'm not here trying to, shame that woman or saying that she doesn't have any rights to be upset. Like, because she really wanted to have her tubes tied and it didn't happen. But this is just like one of those scenarios where you have to think, give it a little thought and kind of compare the two and say, wow, here's this woman who wanted to have her tubes tied but got pregnant. Here's this woman who tied her tubes and still got pregnant. In the end result, they both got pregnant. Like, what? So that's another reason why I wanted to do this, because I was just like, I was just kind of shocked. I know it can happen. In fact, I met another woman at some point in life her mom had 2 children and was done. And then she went on to have 3 after having her tubes tied. And from what I'm hearing, why these pregnancies can occur is that, after the healing process of your tubes being clamped, there could just be a little tiny opening. And obviously with the millions and bajillions of little guys swimming to go try to fertilize an egg, they can, just one. All it takes is one little guy to be like, okay, I'm gonna try to get in here no matter how, and somehow she makes it for the win, like makes it for the win. I don't know. I'm still in awe with these kind of stories. I'm feeling so, I get fascinated by them because I'm just like, wow, like it's a miracle. And clearly, you know, this child is meant to be, because when you've got a mama seeking these measures to kind of put an end to this and not, you know, that sounds kind of bad, but just to prevent like a pregnancy from happening, and then in the end it still does. That's just like, I feel like that is so meant to be. So that's why I wanted to touch base on it. So, I mean, like, I don't know. This video is not to tell you that you don't need a tubal reversal to have a baby, because, and honestly, I feel like 99% of the cases you probably do after tying your tubes. A lot of them do work from what I see. I'm not a doctor, not a medic. I can't give you approximate percentages and give you my 100%, you know, approval and stamp on anything, really. Or can I? Joking. But I can say that I've seen, like, I mean, I have had my own experience of having my tubes tied for 8 years and nothing happened. I know plenty of people who've done it as well. But I've also ran into the odd person who have had their tubes tied and have still conceived. So like I said, the video is not to tell you that you won't need to reverse your tubes in order to get pregnant, because you could be sitting there for for your whole life, kind of like Fiona did in Shrek, waiting around like thinking, okay, I know it's gonna happen now. 1 year goes by, I know it's gonna happen now. I can't sing worth a darn, but I just thought I'd try. And you know, and then it doesn't happen because it's not the norm. So yeah, the whole point was just saying that it could still happen even though you took preventative measures. That is all, folks. That is all your girl was trying to say. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know if you've experienced this below after tying your tubes, or if you know anyone who it's happened to, or if you yourself have ever tied your tubes but secretly hope that it could happen to you, that shoot, maybe it couldn't work, maybe it's not going to work, and I really hope that, you know, it could happen. I'd say, even though I would hope for it to happen and wish for it to happen, it's still kind of scary. It's still kind of scary because even with having a reversal, you have to still kind of worry about, you know, an ectopic pregnancy, let alone having your tubes tied and then knowing that you're pregnant. Like just the worry of not knowing where the baby is and if it's in the right spot and not in your tube, that alone is just like, oh. So, you know, I just want to say that even though it is a thing and it can occur, it doesn't occur without its risks, because there is that risk. And for the recent story that I discovered, like I said, it's a big blessing that her baby is where he or she ought to be and not in her tube. So yeah, you probably want to think that one out through before you're like, I wish it happened to me. I mean, I guess you can always wish for it to happen and everything works out too. So that's it for my video for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any suggestions on any video topics that you want me to talk about, I would love to do it. As you guys can see, like, I love this kind of stuff. And ignore my brows. Like I said, I did film another video and I had to say that. Disclaimer, ignore my brows. I'm going to do them, so don't come for me. I'm going to actually shape them up, and I didn't want to put stuff on them before going to do that because it's just a big waste of time. I'm going to have to remove them anyway. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give today's video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and love.